how does a man get childlike faith back after life has taken it away? I love this question. How does a man get childlike faith back after life has taken it away? You know, the Bible, Jesus says, let them come, that we should have the faith of like children to come, and we should approach them like that. And it's one of the things that we do around here. I'm starting what's called a life group, living in freedom every day, and it's part of the small groups. But one of the things that we talk about is living from. There's a choice to make. It was the second thing ever mentioned in the Bible. God planted 2 trees in the garden. It was a tree of knowledge, and the knowledge of good and evil, and it was the tree of life. And sometimes just hanging out under the right tree, we got to learn how to hang out under the tree of life. And here we say that we're a life-giving church. And that, let me explain it to you this way. Have you ever been in a church where you're just like, oh my gosh, this song makes me want to rip my ears out, and the message is, and it's just, I'm ready to get out of here. It's sucking my soul out of me. But then you could go to another church to listen. They sing the exact same songs. They preach almost the exact same messages. All this kind of stuff, and you walk out of there, oh man, that was awesome. That was like a breath of fresh air, and all this kind of stuff. God has a way, putting you into life-giving environments, and He wants to breathe life back into you. Because listen, this world that we live in sometimes, it's the environment that we live in that can just suck the soul right out of us. Some of us are in life-sucking relationships. It's like you're in a relationship with a vampire, and all they do is suck the soul out of you. And then there's other relationships that you're in, that God's put you in, and it's like, this is easy. This is fun. This is actually refreshing. Listen, God wants to put you into seasons like that, and it's discernment. Too often it's like it's the difference between fighting for everything, or everything just kind of naturally is progressing along. Whenever I see this, I see a man that has fought for a really long time. You're just tired and you're wore out. And I think we have to in order to get to a place of freedom, we first have to come to a place of surrender. We have to stop running. Some of you are running for the answers. Jesus says, no, just run to me. And it says, check it out. Then what I want you to do is rest. He says, come to me, all of you who are flat wore out by life. I will give you rest. I will refresh you. You can take it. You can get rid of all the other burdens. Take up my burden, my yoke. It's easy and it's light. And we're going to do life in rhythm and at a certain pace and in certain seasons. And the stuff that felt like you were running through mud before, He says, I'm going to plant your feet on solid ground, and you're going to be able to run unhindered. And things are going to become easy. But in order to get to that place of freedom, you have to start at a place of surrender. You have to give it up. You have to give it over to God and say, you know what? This is what it means to give your life to God. It's to throw your hands up and say, I give up. I surrender. Look, God, I've been trying to do it my way for so long, and it's brought me to this spot, and it's brought me to this decision to make. I get it. I'm done. I give up. Have your way in my life. When you get to that spot, out of your surrender, will you ever find freedom? And don't believe that if you want. But like I said earlier, God will meet you at your level of expectation. And until you get there, you're going to keep fighting. And it's going to be rough. It's not always easy. Like, my life's not easy. Matter of fact, your life will get harder. He says, I won't make your life easier. He says, I'll never leave you or forsake you. You won't do it alone. He said, I'll put you in a family where things will you'll get through it because you'll start living with hope and purpose. And there's nothing more dangerous than a man that's living his life on purpose, with vision, with the end in sight, in mind, and he's working towards that. All right?